Usually you can DJ the next tune of the roller into a third 16th, and that will work mostly right. So that's section 1. Section 2, you paste it here, and then the next tune is gonna come on. So then basically you just really quickly bang out the mixes, because it's exactly the same motion pretty much. Welcome. So recently we've posted a new mix called Sounds of the Second Drop. In the comment section, Phil Anderson,
Mr. Anderson,
asked, how did we make this mix? We set it 3-deck in Ableton. Phil Anderson requested a tutorial. So big up Phil Anderson. Today is the day when we actually gonna do this and tell you wagwan. But before we proceed, obviously there is gonna be some, oh, but you didn't DJ your mixes. For us, we don't necessarily need to please our egos about the fact that we make our offline mixes, we DJ them. We DJ live enough anyways. We care about the quality of the product that we put out, and when it comes to offline mixes, we have an option to provide the best sounding mix so our listeners can enjoy it, and it's gonna be really impressive. Not everyone has to do it. We love doing it because we can. In fact, it's not that difficult either. You can do it literally so quickly. And it's so much quicker than DJing your mixes, because imagine if you did a little mistake or something, you have to redo it or glue it together. Do it in Ableton, save your time, make it banging, let people enjoy it. So how we do it in Ableton? So first of all, we compile our mix in Rekordbox first, we test it on our decks, we know that the mix works. So let's say in our Rekordbox we have Block to Block February mix from a while back. What's cool about Rekordbox, they tell you the name of the BPM already, and you can drag and drop your tune straight into Ableton. Let's go to Ableton and see the template that I've created. First of all, put all your tunes in, put them correctly so they work together as if you DJ them, and after that you're gonna use equalization and faders and effects to make the mix work like you would by twisting knobs and faders. Let's import a couple of tunes, because I know that these tunes, they're gonna work together in order. They all tried and tested. Bam, bam, and bam. Cool. So when you import your tunes in Ableton, you need to think about what BPM your project is in. For the sake of this tutorial, let's say we're doing it 174. So the project is 174, however, the tunes are in different BPMs. What makes sense to do is to let your Ableton know that this tune over here is not 174, it's 175, so Ableton knows what to do with this. The reason we want to do it because we want to have every drum hit on the grid, so then it's easier for us to, crack on with manipulating it later on. What I usually do, import the tune, select warp mode, enable, check the BPM of the tune, 175, bam bam bam. Let the Ableton know that this tune is in 175. Warp mode, choose Complex or Complex Pro. I prefer Complex Pro. Now, what I like to do, I like to work from the drop backwards. So first of all, I'm gonna find the first hit of the drop, the first kick drum of the drop, and put it on the grid, and then roll it backwards to make sure everything is working properly. Here's the hit. Let's roll this off like this. So now, if you put it on the grid properly, you will see that every drum hit is supposed to be on the grid. So far I can see that's true. You can enlarge it to double check. Yes. Perfect. So now let's put it where it's supposed to be, like around here, and then roll it backwards. Perfect. Now it's like when you're building your tune in Ableton, everything is perfectly to the 16ths. The next thing, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing to all the other tunes. So turn a lunar, BPM 174, and this one is 174 as well. So technically I don't need to tell to Ableton to Wagwan, but for the sake of this video I will. Bam, bam, might as well just do it straight here as well. Bam, bam. When you're making a mix, make into your muscle memory. That's the first thing what you do. Find the drop. Bam, I think it's here, so it starts. Yes. Put it on the grid. Check what's going on. Yeah, looks good to me. So now, where do I put this tune to make it blend well with the first tune? Obviously I know because we've prepared this mix to play on the decks, so we know where it goes. But there's also a cool thing that if you into music production or you know your DJing very well too, you will know that it's all about the 16s. Usually you can DJ the next tune of the roller into a third 16s, and that will work mostly right. So this is 16, this is 16, this is 16, then this 16 is the last 16. I call them sections. So the last section, roll of you know, relaxation before the breakdown, back to the business. So this tune I want to DJ into the third 16 or into the third section. So 1, 2, 3, bam. So following this principle, you can literally build your mixes in Ableton so quickly. It's gonna save you so much time and so precise. Bam, let's double check that. Perfect. Now let's do the last one as well. Bam. So I'm gonna follow the same principle, bring this to the second 16, third 16. Like this. The third 16 of the second tune, obviously. So we've got 2 here, and then it goes into here. And the first tune, basically it can go away. So now we get this. Now we know how the tunes work. What we need to do now is to mix them together to make them sound well, nice and cohesive. That's the principle. So the next thing we're gonna do is look at what we've got on the actual channel here in our template. We don't have any processing going on the channels because it's in the groups. The reason is because once you've done all your mixes, you can just like close these boys and then move on into, you know, doing the automations of your faders and equalizers, which brings us to the next point. When you build your template, in fact, I'm gonna give you this template as well, but when you build your template, always think about simulating the decks, how you want to achieve that. What you know about the decks is that to make a mix, all you need is faders, equalizer, that's it. Everything else is supplementary, like effects, filters, and all that stuff. So faders and the EQ is something that I built first. So you can see on each channel I have exactly the same strips. And I've got my lower frequency knob, if you will, my mid frequency knob, and my high frequency knob. When we DJ on the decks, we sometimes tweak the mid frequency, but most of the time it's the low frequency knob. So the same here. I don't really like use these two boys, only when I need to, only when it's, you know, gets a little harsh or something. But primarily it's all about the low frequency and the fader. Fader is the gain of the utility, just automated that to be a thing. So now let me show you how to quickly automate your faders and EQ. So when I press A, which is triggers the automation lanes, I got utility, which is my fader, and I've got EQ, which is my low frequency knob. That's the quick access for me all the time to be there, so I can just quickly bang out these mixes. If I need to trigger something else, I can just like go to a mid frequency of the channel 1, let's say, and then press on the frequency, bum, and here it shows me the frequency of the third one, so then I can do some adjustments. Don't particularly need it now though. So what else you could do actually, you can also use the fading points of this. I prefer to use them sometimes even more than faders, it's just quicker that way. So let's see. How I like to tweak the low frequency knobs, I just like to select the whatever was before like this and just drag the whole thing down. I like to do quick cuts. I rarely do the smooth transition, I just do quick, because if you want to create an energetic mix, things need to happen quick. So logically, when the low frequencies of the second tune come in, the low frequencies of the first tune should go away. So we're gonna select this portion over here and bring it down like this. What I like to do as well, as it goes in the second section of the first tune, I like to select this second section and I like to bring the end point of the second section before the first tune is gonna die couple of decibels down, so then it creates for a nice subconscious like logical transition that, you know, this tune is going away, but it's not too much in your face, it's just a couple of decibels down. So now you get something like this. So go. What's cool about this though, you don't, once you've done this once, all you can do is just select these two and then paste them here. Boom. And then when it comes to mixing this thing, you so that's section 1, section 2, you paste it here, and then the next tune is gonna come on. So then basically you just really quickly bang out the mixes, because it's exactly the same motion pretty much. You just, as you bring in the tune, you change the low frequencies, and then you slightly bring out the fader, kill, and you do this motion repetitively when you DJ, so you might as well do it here, but do it quick. Nice. Let me just bang out real quick another one. So we got this Tommy Boy. Let's put it on deck number 1. Check the BPM, 175. Perfect. 175. Complex Pro. Bam. Now let's find the drop. I can already see that the second section, so this is our third section, so this tune is gonna go away, this tune is coming in. Now we copy this part. Oh yeah, this part is already here, and this thing comes in here, and then we're just gonna make like a nice fade. Obviously you could do something, instead of fades, you can, let's say, prolong it a little bit here, yeah, and use the fader to bring your fade. now it's like nice to My quick advice is to if you tweaking certain areas, make sure you first of all set the points of what you're doing and work between these points, because if you're gonna keep like working like this, then it's easy to lose the track of where your low frequency or fader is gonna be later on. But the way I personally like to do, I like to select and then just, you know, work like that. So then I always have my neutral position of the fader and equalizer whenever I need this. So that's pretty much how you make mixes in a nutshell. What else we have on this? You can automate obviously the reverb. You can filter. The way I do it, like I have it disabled for when I need it. I enable it. I automate the on and off, and I automate the frequency. On the master, we just have a quick equalizer and limiter just to make sure everything is nice and not crazy. I also took off some side frequency information here because as you're gonna be like changing the BPMs of the tunes, it's gonna give you some artifacts and they really show up in these areas. So I just kind of trim it down, you know, just to keep it as close to original as possible, close to clean as possible. And that's it. So I'm gonna give you this preset if you wanna make your mixes, and if you do, make sure to send it to us so we can have a look and see what one. And on this note, do your mixes in Ableton because it's fun.